I'm David Baker, and I did a lot of things, but you're probably referring to being president and CEO of the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. When I was there, I'm retired now, obviously, but when I was there, I oversaw the process. And the process is quite significant. And at that time, you had to get elected by 80% of those 48 guys. We would bring all those finalists to the Super Bowl. And then we would go around to the door and ultimately would hit on this thing of what's called the knocking on the door for the Hall of Famers and letting them know what we were going to do. And you could see in them something special. But then when you would knock on the door of these guys, they'd generally be with their families and they were nervous. But when they came to the door, I could see, firsthand. Generally I got a hug, which was pretty cool, but I could see what it meant to them. They weren't thinking about how much money they made or how much money they were going to make. They were thinking about their mom that drove them to practice when they were 10 years old. They were thinking about a dad that wouldn't let them quit, or a coach that inspired them to do more, or teammates that helped them get there. And I would tell them, you're going to Canton, congratulations. I would thank them for all they've done and for all they're going to do for the game. And I would promise that the Pro Football Hall of Fame would guard their legacy forever. And there have been 330 million young men and now women that have played the great game of football. There's only 5 million that have played it in college. There's only 29,000 who've ever been paid to play it, coach it, or officiate it in the National Football League. And today, right now, there's only 371 who have a bronze bust. Everybody knows that the Hall of Famers get 3 iconic symbols. They get the gold jacket the night before they give their presentation. They unveil a bronze bust that I'm told will last for 40,000 years. But then they get a ring in their stadium in front of their fans in the fall. The Hall of Fame is charged with the responsibility of being the guardian of the game. And the mission statement, which I kind of was a principal author of, but it says that the mission of the Pro Football Hall of Fame is to honor the heroes of the game, to preserve its history, to promote its values, and to celebrate excellence everywhere. So you kind of surrender to all these team roles to, hey, I'm going to be helping my buddy, it's going to be about us, it's not going to be about me. And then you learn that life is not lived alone, that's living with other people. And the greatest team that anyone is ever going to play on isn't the New England Patriots or the Kansas City Chiefs. The greatest team that you're ever going to play on is going to be your family. The family you come from and the family you make yourself. From being and serving the greatest in our game, what those guys miss the most isn't the money and isn't the fame, it's the love that they found in that locker room from other guys who would give their soul for them and they would give their soul back to them. And they learned to be a team. They learned to sacrifice. They learned to be a part of something that's bigger than them. And they wanted to do something that made a difference. And they learned to care about somebody else more than themselves. There was a lot that I learned about at the Hall about that. That you could use football as a vehicle to get to other people who mattered even more. I think I'm a lot more grateful as I get older. I'm grateful. It was a wonderful job. It is the second greatest job in the world. My favorite now is being a grandpa, where every Saturday and Sunday morning I will knock on the door of 2 sets of grandkids on Saturday and 2 sets of grandkids on Sunday, and I will deliver donuts. And that's in a job that I don't want to give up to anybody else. I want you to promise me that you will memorize this poem. My mom and dad could not read or write. And because of sports, I got to go to college. I got a college scholarship. And Interestingly enough, I had both my boys memorize this. When Sam was at USC, there were days that were tough, and he'd quote parts of this poem. And his roommate was a center, and the center memorized the poem. And pretty soon, all those guys at USC on their national championship team of 2003 were learning this poem. If you can keep your head when all those about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust in yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being hated, don't give way to hating, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, and yet not look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream but not make dreams your master, if you can think but not make thought your aim, if you can meet both triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken be twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, and then watch the things you've given your life to be broken, and stoop and build them up again with worn-out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one round of pitch and toss, and then lose, and then start again at the beginning, and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve you long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings and not lose the common touch. If neither foe nor loving friend can hurt you, and if all men matter to you, but none too much, and if you can fill the unforgiving moment with 60 seconds worth of distance run, then yours is the world and all that's in it. And what is more, you'll be a man, my son.